Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody back to my channel, That Model Railway Guy, and welcome to my 1,000 subscriber live stream. Hello! Um, this has been a bit of a mad dash today, for reasons that will become apparent in a minute. As I said in the chat just a minute ago, I was having some technical difficulties right before we went live, which is why we are a little bit delayed. But fingers crossed, everything will be okay for the moment. I do say that with a certain amount of trepidation. Do let me know if you can hear everything okay. Do let me know if everything is sounding okay, if you can see everything okay as well. It's all been a bit of a mad dash, and a camera just died on me, as well as my microphone. I was using it for the audio. So I'm having to use my laptop microphone, which is why I might sound a bit weird tonight. Sorry about that, but it was the best that I could do under sort of short notice, I guess. But you will hear me sort of clicking around and doing things because the microphone is on the camera. So yeah, do let me know in the chat if there are any problems. I am sort of monitoring it. As you can see, we are not on Pickwick Yard today. No, instead, and I'll give you a bit of a wider shot, you can see that we're on the modular railway, or at least that is the two end curves of the modular railway. And you might be thinking, well, why has he done that? Because he's only got these two curves. That's all he's built so far. Oh no, I've done a bit of work today, and I do literally mean today. Yes, there we go. Hopefully you can see that on stream now. Two brand new modules. So yeah, we have a module here. This is one module here, and then where you can kind of see these weird board bits sticking up. That is the end of the first module, and then there's another module here. So this is the station area, very roughly. So yeah, this is kind of been why this is why there's been a bit of a mad rush. So this is how mad it has been. I can't even get my words out straight. So yeah, it's all been a bit crazy because literally I've been building this all day. The last couple of days actually I've sort of spent putting this all together. And so yeah, I've literally finished it now. I mean literally like 5 seconds before we went live, I was soldering a connection that had come loose. So this is not going to be a smooth running session tonight. This is going to be, I haven't tested this yet. I think the most I've done is I've run a train up and down, and that was about it, and even that had some problems. So this is going to be very much a learning process, both for you and for me especially. I've also got the DCC hooked up as well. Yes, I've gone DCC. So I'm getting to grips with that a little bit as well. But I'm going to attempt to run a loco here. Oh, everyone in the chat is saying everything sounds good. Yes, I suppose I should mention as well, I will be sort of checking the chat throughout the stream tonight. But before we do get started, I think it's just worth saying thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed recently. It's incredible. Not only did we hit 1,000 subscribers at the beginning of this month, I think it was around the 7th of January, something like that. But since then, we've almost doubled the amount of subscribers again. I mean, I'm up to 400 now. I did have a very popular video that went out, which was the Hornby generic 4- and 6-wheel coaches, and that seems to have gotten a lot of attention. So if any of you guys have subscribed to the channel recently because of that, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoy the videos that are to come. There's lots of exciting stuff to come. And thank you for tuning in tonight, or whether you're watching this on the replay as well. Yeah, so I suppose without further ado, I should attempt to run a train, really, shouldn't I? And I say attempt, in a very... well, you'll see. Right, so I've got to get used to the DCC system here. And I'm hoping that in a second or so, you should see something coming into the shot. Is it working? It is indeed working. Yeah, as you can see, we have the Terrier just coming, not the Terrier, the Peckett. So this is very much, we're testing things out here. Oh, right, that's interesting. It's stopped on that little bit of track there. So that's going to need looking at. That's going to be fun if that happens tonight. Right, now the only thing is I've got a double slip here. I don't know which way it's set. I've not gotten used to double slips yet. So this is about the most complicated point I've ever had. I normally just work with the set track points. So yeah, I've been a bit ambitious. Oh, there we go. See, things are stalling all over the place. It's not going to be an easy day today. There's dust everywhere. The loco wheels haven't had their wheels cleaned. So Yeah, it's all a bit mad. If everything is really awful, I'll slack off the DCC stuff and we'll just go back to we'll run things on DC as per usual. But I'll give you a bit of a sort of a rundown of the layout. So as you can see, I've got the packet. It is the packet, yeah. Sorry, I'm going to get all my words muddled tonight. You're just going to have to bear with me. So a bit of a rundown of what we have. This is going to be a platform area back here. Sorry if I'm a bit quieter now. I'm further away from the microphone. I'll try and shout a bit. But yeah, this is going to be a two-station platform. So platform on this side, a platform on this side, and basically it's a loop. It's like a run-round loop. So you might just be able to see really far off in the distance here. That's the buffer stop board. So if you saw episode 4, I believe, of the modular model railway series, the series of episodes that I'm doing that catalogues building this this layout, that was the last module to be built. I realise that you're not getting a particularly good view of the layout in its entirety at the moment, but bear in mind that I will be doing a video on this very, very soon. So I've been filming all day, which is why everything takes a bit of a time. Yes, I feel like I'm ignoring the chat a little bit. So let's. Everyone's saying that everything sounds fine. That's good. Fantastic. Xander Day says, "Who else is in quarantine?" Yeah, I'm still. Well, I'm not in quarantine, but I'm. We're. What is it? Self-isolating? No, not self-isolating. Lockdown. That one. There's so many different terms now. I can't remember everything. So, yeah. Oh, brilliant. Everyone says they love the packet. Packet, hi, wow, packet. Oh, who's this? AR Production says he loves a packet. He's got the Port of London Blue version. Oh, that is a very nice one, isn't it? I do like the look of that one, and I'm tempted to get one. If I see one at a good price, I have a feeling I'll get one at some point. So yeah, that'll be. I do love the packets, but then they've also got a few more coming out later this year, haven't they? So yeah. Anyway, so this is the sort of the main line here. I'm just moving the engine again. So there you go. That's the kind of the main line there. And if you didn't know, if you haven't been keeping up with the videos, this is a heritage railway. It's going to be sort of a bit of a heritage railway, but rather than just sort of running anything I can on this, I'm trying to sort of model a heritage railway somewhat realistically. So the idea is that down here you have the sort of the nice passenger-facing area. This will be kind of the nice platformy area with, you know, picket fences and nice signposts and a little footbridge and everything. And then up here is essentially going to be the works area, I guess. You can't really see it because it's kind of out of shot. But this line here leads to an engine shed. Tell you what I should probably do is I should test these lines while I'm going along. So I should run the trains actually into them. So DCC, don't fail me now. We'll go for a slow crawl over these points, shall we? Ooh, there we go, that's worked. Apart from that bit there, that bit needs a bit of work. Don't worry, I'll have a look at all this later and figure it out. So yeah, I'll run this up into here and we'll see what actually works. So, oh, my phone's frozen, which is how I'm controlling the engines, which isn't great. Let's see if I can get it to work. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Right, bit fast. So up into here, this is where, I've just taken the packet out of shot slightly, but basically there's two roads here that lead into an engine shed. There's nothing there at the moment. Well, there's sort of a frame which I was using slightly just for to get the roads in the right position. And actually, while I do it, I'll move this here. This is the only bit I haven't done properly yet. So you'll see that this little bit of track here that the packet is running onto at the moment doesn't have any cork underneath it. Actually, I don't know if you can even see that on the camera. But basically, there's no cork here. And if you're wondering why that is, it's essentially because this, where the packet is currently standing at the moment, will eventually be an inspection pit. And so I just didn't have time, and it wasn't anyway, to build the kit up, and I've got one of the Pico inspection kits. So rather than kind of worrying about trying to get all that sorted and everything, I just figured I'd just lay a bit of track, and so that's why there's no cork there at the moment, because I haven't really done that section yet. But we do have another. I'll run it into the other. There's a point here. You probably can't see. Well, it's just off the camera here. But yes, let's try running the packet back into that road as well. See if that will work. It's the first time I'm testing all these points. You see. Oh yes, it does. Oh, fantastic. So it's a bit of a tight squeeze to get into the engine shed here, because this part of it, it has stalled now. Has it? Yes, it has stalled, I think. There we go, it's moving now. Oh, a bit fast. Actually, I didn't want to go there. So yeah, this is very much just me playing trains while live streaming. If any of you are wondering, it's all a bit, you know, mad and crazy, and yeah. So yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, it's a bit of a tight curve here. I've had to use a Y point just here because it was a lot shorter than the even the small points. I'm basically using small points everywhere because I don't really have a lot of space, and I wanted to make sure I had a loop long enough to fit 3 carriages or so in. So yeah, hopefully it will work. Well, I know that this is long enough to to fit 3 carriages in, but yeah, I basically ended up using short radius points everywhere. Actually, I should probably talk about this bit as well. So let me flip all these points back. That's not the right way of doing it, is it? That's the right way. Again, still getting used to double slits. I am all a bit... Oh, Xandaday says the stream is lagging a bit. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, YouTube's playing up for everyone. Oh, okay. Yeah, do let me know. I think it might be my computer is being a bit dodgy, but everything seems to be all right at the moment. So yeah, we do have an interesting situation here, where if someone answers the phone, the internet goes down. So that's fun. So I'm basically praying that no one rings, basically. Oh, right, that point's a bit dodgy then as well, isn't it? Yeah. So as you can see, a lot of this needs work. It's not the case where with these things you can just plug something in and it works immediately. Also, I am testing this out with the shortest wheelbase engine that I own, which is the Beckett. Oh, I suppose actually the Ruston is slightly shorter as well. So yeah, I'm faffing around basically, but sorry, right. Let's see if I can get it to run back into these sidings. Is it going to work? So it doesn't like this point, basically, is what I'm learning. So that needs looking at. Hey, there we go. Do you know what I haven't gotten used to yet on DCC is the, you know how everything sort of smooth, glides to a stop, you know, it sort of ramps down as opposed to just being, you know, on the DC controller, you know, you turn it up and it just works, and then when you turn it back again, you know, that's when it stops. With DCC, you know, you've got the sort of acceleration, the deceleration. I'm not used to that, so it's gonna be a bit of an interesting time for me. Anyway, so these 2 sidings here are going to be carriage sidings, just because I figured I wanted to have a, you know, I basically wanted to be able to do a little bit of shunting on this layout. Eventually, the plan is that it will continue round in a full loop. So all the way back here, where this is actually at the moment just a buffer stop. This will eventually have a curve and it will connect back around to the fiddle yard, which is the only bit you can't see today. Right, I am going to be brave, I think. We're going to go for a bit of a crazy idea here, and I'm going to try and attempt to run a tender loco. My only reason for running a tender loco is that I think I might have better chance with the pickups of moving stuff, you know, of it not stalling and stuff. So the Beckett has been fun, but it can sit in the sidings there for a minute. I'm just putting a lot of coaches on the track as well, because I haven't actually run anything with coaches yet. So so yeah. Starkiller 100 says spray the layout with cheese. Right? Is there a particular reason for that? That's not something I would have thought of. But if that is that a modelling technique that is, or are you just being silly? Right. So let me see if I can get this engine running that I've got lined up here. We'll go back to the scenic view for the moment, so you can see that. I've no idea if this engine is going to work. As I say, I plonked it on the track, and I'm hoping that it's got a decoder in it and that it will respond to this when I do it. But it's a bit of an odd one. Oh, it's moving. It is moving, and it's taking the coaches with it. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see, is it coming? There we go. It's just coming around the bend now. So I don't know if you can see, but this is a schools class. with some of the some southern coaches behind it. Oh, that was a bit of a dodgy. That connection is a little bit dodgy there between the boards. But I'm just going to sort of bring here. I'm just going to check that all the wheels are still on the track, which they do seem to be. So that's good. So yeah, everything is kind of moving into. Sorry, this is amazing to me. I'm kind of getting a bit distracted by just watching the train and not really paying any attention to the live stream. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a nice train here. So 3 carriages and a tender engine is what this platform will easily take, and you can see there's a bit of extra space just here as well. So what else? What are people saying? Xanderday says that's a rather cheesy joke. Oh, is that the point you were making? Or no, it was Starkiller who was saying it, wasn't it? Yeah, I think I might have been sort of taken on that one, haven't I? I don't know. You've got to be kind to me tonight, guys, because I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going or what life is at the moment. I uncoupled that and then I immediately recoupled it because this is on a slope. Brilliant. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, you stay there. Right. I'm going to attempt a run round. So yeah, this is the schools class. It is 907 Dulwich. So in case anyone is interested, I'm going to attempt to move this on now. The thing I forget about this one is that it has. Oh yeah, it's not like that. Okay, so this connection here is dodgy then. So that needs looking at as well. And you know what I've just. I have just as well managed to decouple the engine from its tender, so I need to just put that right. I tell you what, I think it might be a bit ambitious to try and use the run round loop, if I'm honest. So I'm going to do that, and I have a feeling that I have just shorted out the track because I tried to do this on a point. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties, and the buffers have fallen off. Brilliant. I do need to fix this loop. Actually, it came to me when I first got it. The front buffer beam is sort of slightly loose. If you push it into place, it stays in place. But every so often, if you handle the loco, it will fall off. So, not ideal. And I've just never gotten around to doing it, to fixing it. Mainly because I haven't really ever had a layout that I could run it on properly. So, yeah, it's now not running at all. Oh, do you know why? Because I shorted out the track, and it would help if I got it going again. There we go. Right, let's reset everything. I think my app has now stopped working. Oh, no, there we go. Right, hang on. Let me come back. Okay. Right, so the display on my app has frozen, but trains are still responding, which makes me slightly nervous. So I'm going to just refresh the app. Let's see if we can get it to move now. Oh, there we go. Yes, it's working now. Tell you what, let's bring it into this other siding here, because I have just realised that this engine doesn't have, it doesn't actually have a front coupling, which is a bit annoying. So I have no way now of taking these coaches away. I suppose what I'll either have to get the packet to take them away, because that definitely does have a front coupling, or failing that, I will do something else. Right, my CPU is lagging again, so do let me know if everything is okay, but it's come back now, so we'll see. Right, I'm just going to quickly check the comments, see what everyone is. I mean, basically, everyone is just being very nice and supportive. So, thank you, everybody. Like I said, I literally was building this today, so this is the first time it's ever been run. This is me literally testing it. So yeah, you're getting a bit of an exclusive here. I was actually rather hoping that this would be a little bit more exciting, that I had, that I would have tested this and it would have been sort of a big grand reveal and it would all be working perfectly. But quite clearly I was over ambitious anyway. So the fact that all my cameras went down right before the live stream started, and the fact that everything has all been going wrong today, well, it's not been going wrong today. It's just everything has taken a lot longer than I anticipated. But, it takes some people years and years and years to get to this stage where they've actually laid track on the board. So, I'm kind of the opinion that the fact that I've managed to do all this in the space of a couple of days, really, is actually pretty impressive. So, yes, Tim White says that ran so smoothly. Nice track laying. Oh, you wouldn't be saying that if you could see it in person, Tim. No, there's a few little areas which need attention. The double slip is sort of causing things to stall occasionally. This point was being a bit odd earlier on when I was trying to use this road here. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Richard Elston says, round of applause for the build. Be great to see shunting once station is finished. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I can't wait for that. Like I was saying earlier, I think my main aim with this layout is that I will eventually be able to just run trains round in a circle. Oh, blimey. The engine just started moving without me realising. Do you know what I did? I put my phone, which I'm using this to control the engines. I put that in my pocket, and as I put it in my pocket, I accidentally activated. See, this is why I'm not. Basically, what I did is I accidentally activated the loco. Now I'm going to put it back on the track. I'm going to see. Well, I'll tell you what I should do. Really, what I should do. Sorry, I'm being a bit weird here. I'm going to put the loco back on the track, the other way around, and then we can get it to take these coaches away. Or at least that's what I'm hoping, anyway. There we go. Nice excuse. See, I meant to do that. I meant to accidentally run the loco off the edge of the baseboard. Oh, that was a close one, wasn't it? Actually, I suppose it would have been stopped by the camera because it is right below there. Right, let's check the comments again. Matthew Ford says, hello, wow, this layout is looking great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm guessing you've literally just joined us, but yeah, it is. This has literally been what I've been working on the last couple of days, is getting all the track laid on everything like this. And you think about how long it takes to build a layout, and sort of how much time and effort it takes. Bearing in mind that at the same time as me trying to build the thing and being a bit of a novice anyway, and kind of mucking it up as I go along several times, I'm also filming everything at the same time, so it makes everything take twice as long. So yeah, it's been a bit of a long one. But I'm just glad that it's I'm glad it's at a stage now where I can actually I can fine tune things, and I can and there's little bits of work to be done here and there. But for the most part, I can start doing scenic work on this now. So yeah, hopefully this will be good. Right. Anything else? Liam at New Mills Model Railway says track laying is the best part of building a model railway. I think. Yeah, I would say that as well. It's certainly the bit. You certainly feel a sense of accomplishment after you've done it, don't you? Because after you've done it, you've sort of got something you can run your trains on, essentially. Assuming that you've done the wiring properly. But then I'd say building a baseboard is probably the bit that most people look forward to the least. Nobody really enjoys building the baseboard because it's not really anything to do with railways or modelling. So yeah, but then immediately after that, you come into doing the bit where you get to do, you lay all the track. And right, what am I doing here? Still don't know how to use a double slip. In case you're wondering, by the way, well, actually, I'll finish that first thought. You do all the baseboards, and that's the boring bit, and then you lay the track, which is sort of the quite exciting bit. I think laying the track is exciting, and then also putting the static grass down. I don't know how much of there will actually be on these boards, but certainly looking at at these boards here, at the two curved boards. If you're wondering, by the way, that is actually two modules. So there is you might just be able to see there's a bit of a split down the line, down the middle of it. I can't actually get to it at the moment because I've got all my streaming equipment in the way. But yes. So what was I talking about? Anyway, yeah, track laying is fun. That was the point. And I think before that, I keep getting interrupted, or I keep looking at comments and getting distracted. So my original plan, my eventual plan with this is to run, be able to run trains round in a loop, basically. So if I go back to not that camera, if I go back to this camera, eventually at the end of the station here, it will curve back around and join into the fiddle yard. And so I'll be able to run trains sort of through consistently, and everything will work fine. I'll basically be able to run trains around consistently while I talk to you guys, so that I'm not having to constantly think about shunting and also messing around live stream stuff, so I can kind of sit in the middle and everything will just work. But yeah, that's why I wanted to have a couple of side assists so that I can also do some shunting as well. So yes, let's see what everyone is saying in the comments, because now that I've finished those thoughts, I shall do a bit more talking. Tim White says, you've made amazing progress in a few days. Keep going, you're doing really well. Oh, thank you, Tim White. I feel like that was I've answered something very similar that you said a minute ago. You're being very supportive. I love this. Yeah, I'm really proud of this. I mean, this is the first serious model railway I've ever built. If you've seen my other layout, Pickwick Yard, the little shunting layout, which I normally do live streams on, then this is, well, I mean, that was basically second-hand set track laid on an old shelf. I don't really consider it a model railway. I suppose it is a model railway, but it's more of a glorified train set, or it's somewhere it was something that was quick and easy to just sort of run trains while I was planning this, essentially. So yeah, I consider this my first serious model railway. And a lot of the techniques that I got from building Pickwick Yard, I've sort of been transferred into this. But a lot of this, I mean, this is really the first time I've ever used flexible track, streamlined points as well. So this is all, very new to me, and even the DCC stuff. Let's look at a few more comments as well. Penn Junction says, just been putting together a lift out section which has gone well, but have no track to make any more progress without buying track online, which costs double what it would in a model shop, and postage is £5. Oh really? That sucks. Yeah, honestly, I wanted to get on to doing this part of the layout sooner, but I was waiting for Pico track to come back in stock, because of course, because we're going in and out of lockdown all the time, that is the time when everyone wants to build model railways, because everyone's stuck at home and hasn't got anything to do. So naturally, those of us who are so inclined as to want to build model railways think, this is the perfect time to build model railways. The problem is that as soon as I had that thought, so did everybody else, which means that basically Pico track has been in and out of stock, pretty inconsistently. And so getting all the bits together, just trying to find a double slip was, has been incredibly difficult. Trying to find, just everything. But I think, where did I get mine from originally? I got all this from D-Rails, I think. Yes, I did. Because they forgot to send me one of the points, and I had to send them an email saying, I'm sorry, it's on my receipt that I do actually have ordered 5 points, and only 4 have turned up. And they were very kind about it, and they sent it out the following day. And so, yeah, they were great about that. So, yeah. But I seem to remember the D-Rails had decent prices, and they also have free postage as well. If your order is over £20, I think it's free. That's a new thing they've brought in recently, I believe. So a little advert for D-Rails there. I'm not affiliated in any way with them, other than being a satisfied customer. I believe that's the proper wording that you're supposed to use, isn't it? Yeah, so maybe you can find some from D-Rails then, because they seem to have a decent amount of stock. Although I have a feeling that I nabbed the last double slip. So sorry about that if you're looking for a double slip. But yeah, I've skipped a few comments. I've just realised. So I'm just gonna have a quick look. Xander Day says, can you imagine an engine trying to pull coaches and it pulls its buffer beam off? Well, I can imagine that in model form, because that's what the schools class frequently does. So yes, maybe if you're lucky, we'll even see that happening. But I wouldn't want to see it in reality. Although I did see, did anyone see that video? I believe it was last year, of Union of South Africa I think it was the East Lancs Railway, and they tried to, well, they'd obviously uncoupled the engine from the carriages, but they hadn't disconnected the corridor tender or something, and so it just sort of pulled the end of the coach off, which was a bit dramatic. It wasn't that dramatic, but yes. Right, let's look at a few more things. Matthew Ford says, thank you for the tips the other day about the points. I've sold it a bit. I nailed some of the track to the cork and put some aluminium foil on the plastic joints of the points. Brilliant. Yes, I remember now. As I was reading that, I couldn't remember what it was, because I do try to reply to a lot of comments, and sometimes I get a bit confused as to who is who. But yes, I remember you now. You were saying that about getting the small wheelbase locos to go over the points. So yeah, that's good that you've made some progress with that. Yeah, that was. I'm glad that you've kind of come up with a bit of a solution to that. So you've nailed some track to the core. I'm just rereading your message so I can actually understand it a bit better now. Oh, you put some aluminium foil on the plastic frogs. Oh, brilliant. Okay. So yeah, just be careful with that you don't accidentally short out the locos when they're travelling in the opposite direction. That is one thing that can happen. But yeah, I presume that's a budget model railways tip, isn't it? That's something that I've seen them talk about. So yeah, always nice to know when people are using other people's tips as well. Right, sorry, I'm going to try and move through these comments fairly quickly. Trains says, what do you think this layout is going to be called? I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea. Actually, no, that's a total lie. I do have a little bit of an idea, but just I haven't come up with anything in particular. Because it's a heritage railway, I'm thinking something like the Something Valley Railway. And the only reason I'm thinking Valley Railway is because if you look at this part of the railway here, and actually, well, all the end plates that I've designed have sort of got a bit of a, the track is at ground level, and then the hills sort of go up on either side of the track. So it's kind of turned into a bit of a valley. And so I'm sort of thinking that maybe that would be an interesting. There seems to be a lot of railways called the Something Valley Railway. There's Spa Valley Railway, Neen Valley Railway, Severn Valley Railway. I'm sure there's others as well, which I can't think of off the top of my head. Or maybe it's just those few. But the Something Valley Railway. Oh, Churnet Valley Railway. That's one, isn't it? I've never been there though. I do want to go at some point. It was on my list to do last year actually, and then of course lockdown. So yeah. Anyway, back to the comments. Sorry, I will actually run some trains again in a bit, but let's at least put this up on here so you can see the new layout and have a look at things. So yeah, I'm sorry, trains. I don't know what the layout is going to be called yet, but I am thinking about it, and I do need to make a decision on that sooner rather than later. Flying Scott says it is a place where you can best show off models if you don't want to consider it a proper layout. What's this in layout to? What's in this in relation to? Have I missed something? Oh, are you talking about Pickwick Yard as a place to show off models? Yeah, that's a pretty nice way. It's like a kind of a large diorama in a way, isn't it? So yeah, and it has the advantage of being able to work and not needing an entire room to be set up in. Brilliant. Xandade says, I did a bit of research and found out that the Bachmann USRA Light Pacific is $400, but a Hornby Railways Flying Scotsman is $178. US prices are ridiculous. These locos are the same size. Yeah, that seems crazy. $400, but I mean, I suppose that's kind of similar for HO European stuff as well. I mean, I'm not familiar with any American or European stuff because my interest is in British model railways. But yeah, I mean, when people do talk about prices for locos going up above the £200 mark. Yes, it's easy for us to kind of moan, and I will be the first to say that I don't think we should really be paying that much, but it could be a lot worse, I guess, is what I'm saying. Penn Junction says I don't need a double slip, so I'm all right on that. Great, okay, fantastic. At least I haven't done you out of a double slip then. Oh, that's people responding to me talking about the. Talking about Union of South Africa. Flying Scott says, basically it accordioned its tender and cut. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what happened, isn't it? Great. Hello, Bentham Road Model Railway. The Valley... Trains says, the Valley Railway. I might have to do something silly like that. I did think about, trying to incorporate, because it is a modular railway, trying to incorporate modular into the title somehow, something making it like the Modbury Valley Railway or something, but it seemed a bit sort of contrived when I thought about it. So yeah, I'll come back to that. Basically, I don't want to rush into a name and then stick it. Oh, Flying Scott said the Rother Valley Railway. Yeah, there's one of those as well. AR Production says, since your layout is modular, will you be exhibiting the layout once it's finished? I mean, if anywhere wants to have me, I don't see why not. I suppose the issue would be transporting it, really. I haven't thought about that at all. It is very much a sort of a situation at the moment where it can be set up here, and probably only here, and it's even here it's a bit dodgy. It would need a lot of work before it was ready for exhibitions. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of consider this a bit of an exhibition in a way. Like, you know, although it would be nice to take it somewhere and actually, you know, have people sort of looking at it and stuff. And yeah, I mean, if you know, if any shows in the future did want me to go there, I certainly wouldn't turn them down straight away and say no, I'm never taking it to a show. I think it would just be the logistics essentially. So yeah, but you know, never say never. I mean, but I think, you know, it's not something I think I would actively seek out. But if somewhere really wanted me to take it along, it would be fun to do that. Yeah, and I suppose with it being modular, it would mean I could set it up in a different way as well. So it could be, you know, we could set it up as an end-to-end like it currently is now. We could set it up as a roundy-roundy, which is what some people like to see, just trains going round and round. You know, or we could set, you know, we'd get rid of all the curves altogether and just have a great big long layout, which would be very fun. I'd like to do that at some point. Right, going back to going back to the comments. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fart then. I just completely lost the plot of what I was doing. Where have I got up to in the comments? Hello, Angels Share Model Railways. I've just seen you've just joined us, although I'm a bit behind on the comments, so maybe you've tuned in and then left. Penn Junction says Pickwick Station. Benton Road Model Railway says, what's your local railway, mate? So my local, it's difficult. I'm sort of South London-ish, so I guess, well, there's not really any railways near me. There's Bluebell Railway is fairly close. Spa Valley Railway is pretty close as well. I visit, you know, when we're not in lockdown, I visit Eastbourne quite a lot. So, you know, I'd go to Kent and East Sussex and Rodney Hyde and Dymchurch as well. Basically, I mean, I also, you know, a lot of my family live up in, you know, a lot of my dad's side of the family live up in Yorkshire as well. So, you know, I'm well acquainted with Keighley and Worth Valley, East Lancashire Railway, East Lancashire Railway as well. If you've seen the videos that I did there of the Flying Scotsman there, and I did one of Keighley and Worth Valley as well. I also used to be a volunteer at Empsey and Bolton Abbey Railways, Empsey and Bolton Abbey Steam Railway as well. Get it right. That was a long time ago though. That was about 10-15 years ago now. And actually, this layout is loosely based on a sort of a mixture of Empsey Station and also, is it Oxenhope at Keighley and Worth Valley? It's not Oxenhope. It might be Oakworth. I think it's Oakworth. It's not the terminus. It's the one in the middle that they use for the railway children, I think. Yeah, it's Oakworth, isn't it? Because he says in the film Oakworth. Yeah. Right. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted here, and I haven't run a train for ages. Okay, lots of people coming in with railway name suggestions. I'm going to have to go through all these later on and read these properly because there's some good suggestions that I think I could come up with. Right. Sorry, I'm just gonna kind of skip around a bit and tell you what. Let's just run some trains. Let's run a train because that's what we're all here to see. Right. This school's class, which is just here, which you might be able to see, but that has a little bit of a party trick, which I've just realised I don't think I could use. So that was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? Oh, I'll tell you what. Can I do this? Will it still work if I run it like this? Is that working? No. Oh, yes, it is. It is moving. Okay, brilliant. Right, I'm going to shut up for a bit because this has a bit of a fun thing that you might be able to hear. There you go. Yes, it has sound in it. Yes, I went all that. It's not full-on sound. It's just TTS. It's the Hornby sort of, you know, the cheap basic sound. I hope you can hear this actually on the live stream. It might just sound a bit like, you know, rushing wind. But let's see what happens. Go for a nice smooth coupling here, shall we? Fingers crossed. Could have been better, but it wasn't too bad. Right. Let's be ambitious and see if I can get this all the way back into the fiddle yard without causing a disaster. All right, then let's see. I've got a couple of whistles here. Let's see what this one does. There we go. Right. Let's take that as the start, and off we go then. Right, there we go. I'll turn the sound off now just so we can so you can hear me again. Do you know what? I'm absolutely amazed that that worked as well as it did. I wasn't expecting it to. So, yeah, right. I'm going to attempt to run another loco now. I'm just going to move this out of the way in the fiddle yard, just so that we have a little bit of space. How is everything looking, by the way? Is the stream still working? Is it all fine? Right. Tell you what, I'm going to attempt to run. I've got my Terrier with a DCC chip in it, so which I think I said on a stream a while back, but it hasn't had its wheels cleaned in ages, so I just literally plonked it on the track. But we shall see what happens here. It could be a bit of an interesting one. I don't really know if it's going to want to cooperate today. Yeah, no, it's not wanting to play, I'm afraid. It's kind of working. My worry is that I'll get it halfway down the track and I won't be able to retrieve it, which will then block the track. So yeah, we'll slack that one off, I'm afraid. Sorry, I was hoping to run more than just a couple of engines, but unfortunately, because my focus has been so much on getting the layout built, I haven't actually DCC chipped any of my locos. So I'm basically using the Peckett as my testing loco. Because it's got such a short wheelbase, but is also a fairly good, consistent runner. So I know, it's not just the loco; it's actually something to do with the track if it does stall. So yeah, we'll run this one a bit though. So let's do that. I'm getting used to the double slip a bit more. Sorry. And actually, it's sort of running in quite nicely now. Let's see if we can... We'll run this back around the layout a bit. Should be coming onto your screen just about now. Does look good, doesn't it? I will just sort of pause it here for a second while I do this. And actually, we've got a bit of a wider shot here. We'll bring it back into that area. But one of the things I do love about this layout and the smaller locos like this, we often see the Pecketts and the Terriers and Rustons and all these small locos that Hornby have been coming out with lately. We often see these on micro layouts, which is great because they're perfect for that because they would have been used in those kind of situations. But there's something fantastic about seeing these tiny little locos in a larger landscape. It's something that I feel like I haven't really seen properly. So yeah, I mean, just even looking at that there. But yes, I suppose I better run it back into. I'll bring in what I was intending to bring in. Meanwhile, I'm just sort of wondering whether I have any other locos with DCC chips in. But I don't think I do. I know I've got a Sentinel which has got a DCC chip in, but it was a bit dodgy even when it was DC. So I'm not entirely sure if it's a good idea to attempt to run it on stream. Right, let's. I've got this packet hooked up to some carriages, so we'll bring this in a sec. But let me just check the. Let me check the comments again because I. Sorry, lost the plot again. As I told you, as I keep saying, my brain is just all over the place today. Right. Let's see. Penn Junction says, can hear it loud and clear. Matthew Ford says, nice. Oh, this is the schools class. Sounds good. Joseph the Midland 4F says, what loco is this again? That was a schools class. Flying Scott says, in real life, they weren't the most precise things either. A bumpy coupling isn't unusual. Yeah, that's true as well. When I was volunteering on trains as a ticket inspector, you'd often have a moment where everything would sort of bump together, and you'd go, oh yes, right, that's the loco coupling up then. Joseph the Midland 4F says, is it a 4-cylinder then? Thought the beat was different. So I think the schools class is a 3-cylinder engine. I'm not entirely sure. But I'll be honest, I'm not an expert on these kind of things, so I will bow to everyone else's superior knowledge. So yeah, I think anyway, it's got the A1A3 TTS sound decoder in there. And the only reason that the schools class has got the A3 sound decoder is because for some bizarre reason I could not fit the A3 sound decoder into the A3's tender. I don't understand how that's possible, but somehow I was able to fit it all into the tender of the schools class, no problem. So after a couple of days and lots of swearing, I gave up attempting to get the decoder into the to get it into the Flying Scotsman that I have, and I just decided, I'll put it in the schools class instead, because I think they're both 3-cylinder engines. I was kind of working on that basis, and also I fancied having the sound in the schools class, so that's my excuse. AR Production says the stream is all good, fantastic. That's nice to know. Secret of the Dispatcher says this is so lovely. We don't mind. I'm presuming that's in reference to not being able to get the Terrier out. Flying Scottish says weren't schools 3-cylinders though? Right, yes, okay, there's a bit of a debate going on in the comments then. I don't know. Trains says, what Terrier do you have? I have Stepney, which is the... tell you what, I'll bring him on, seeing as I can't run him, he might as well sit on the stream, because at least he does have a decoder in, so there you go. Actually, I can show you. There is oh, no, there you go, a bit higher. That's Stepney, it's my Terrier. I've done a review on him as well, oh, he just started to move then, which was interesting. Yeah, he's moving now. Right, I'm going to figure out why he's doing that. Maybe he just doesn't like the fiddle yard. So maybe because the track is cleaner in the station, he's happier here. So let's see. Let's tell you what, this could have worked out quite well. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. So Stepney is now running-ish. I mean, we'll have to keep an eye on him. So yeah, this is Stepney. He's in his A1 configuration. So this is before, not as he's preserved now. Which is a bit of a shame because obviously this is a preserved railway. Yeah, he's stalled there. Doesn't like that bit. That point needs looking at, I think. But I'll figure it all out. Oh, but he's actually running all right now, isn't he? It must just be the track in the fiddle yard is a bit dirty because it's not been used in a while. So, yeah. Oh, there we go. Well, I'm quite pleased that he's working there. Tell you what, let's while we've got him out, we'll run him into this little spur up here. What was I talking about? Oh yes, yeah. So he's in the A1 condition, not the A1X, and so I mean, to be perfectly honest, if Hornby or Rails of Sheffield end up doing a preserved Stepney at some point, he's stalled on that little bit there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's a bit sleepy. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if actually he is shuddering a bit. I don't know if that's just because I'm going particularly slow on him, or if he needs a CV changing or something. But we shall see. But yeah, I mean, is Terrier 150 next year? Is that the big celebrations that are happening. That's all next year, isn't it? And I wouldn't be surprised if Hornby do something like the Great Gathering again, where they do all the preserved terriers in a big package. And if they do that, if Hornby, if you're listening, do that, because you'll make a lot of money on it from idiots like me who feel like they have to own all the preserved terriers. But yeah, honestly, I was surprised that we didn't see a preserved Stepney last year, because it was the Bluebell Railway's 60th anniversary or something, wasn't it? Or 60 years of preservation or something like that. But I guess that they must be holding it off for next year to really go all out with the terriers next year. They'll have to do something, won't they? Surely. I mean, it's too big of an opportunity to miss, surely. Right, let's go back to the comments again. Sorry, I just having a drink there. Let's see what everybody is saying. Benton Road Model Railway says, have you been to Tinker's Park? No, I haven't. I've heard of it, though. Is that down near Uckfield, or sort of like Spa Valley Railways? I feel like last time I was at Spa Valley Railway, there was something there to do with Tinker's Park. And I have a feeling that I may... No, sorry, I had a thought there and then I kind of got sidetracked and I can't remember what it was now. Right, James Savage says, can I have a shout out, please? Yes, you can. There you go. Hello, James Savage. Thank you for joining us. It's lovely to have you with us. It's lovely to have everybody here. I'm kind of amazed. I'm just sort of keeping my eye on the comments and not really taking any interest in the stream at all. But oh, blimey, we've got 36 people watching. Well, at least that's what it says for me at the moment. I suppose it'll all go down now that I've said that, but that seems like it's more than we usually have. I'm aware as well that it's just hit 8 o'clock, but I'm going to keep going as long as people are still watching. So because I did start a bit late, so I'll probably go on for another 15 minutes or so. I don't, I'm sort of quite glad to just have an engine, to have a railway working at the moment. So I kind of want to, use it as much as possible. And if I'm using it, I might as well, let you guys share in it as well. Xander Day says, my comments keep getting removed. I don't know why that would be. That's odd. I mean, I assume you're not using any bad language or anything like that, because I know YouTube filters that stuff out. But yeah, no, I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that would be. Benton Road Model Railway says, Stepney's boiler certificate ran out and it costs more to service it and replace the boiler than to rebuild Stepney. So unfortunately Stepney will no longer run. Oh, that is a shame. I'm surprised that they decided to kind of give up on it. I mean, considering that they've, how popular that engine is. It's similar to sort of I suppose it's the it's the Flying Scotsman thing, the Triggers Broom thing, where it's like how much of it is actually the original engine and all that. But yeah, that is a shame. Flying Scott says, I'd just love to see Wadden in her SECR livery one day. If the Canadians will let us have her back for a bit, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Do you know what? Hornby did that one, didn't they? They did that A1. Well, they did that model, didn't they? In that livery. I might have to get one, and we might have to say that actually happened on this preserved railway. That whatever this heritage railway ends up being called, they had some connections in Canada, and they brought back the Terrier. Let's say it was brought back for the 150 celebrations, for the 150th anniversary. They brought it back and then they put it in its SECR livery, and then the railway kept it afterwards. Right. Tom Ward says, I've got 2 terriers so far. Yes, I'm very much the same. I've got my eye on several of them. They are just lovely, aren't they? Right. Stepney has run for a very long... AR Production says, well, Stepney has run for a very long time. At the end of the day, steam locomotives are machine. They can't last forever. But Stepney's had a great run. I suppose that's true, isn't it? Yeah, it is a bit of a shame that it doesn't run. But I was quite lucky, actually. I visited the Bluebell Railway last year, I believe. Very brief period where we weren't in lockdown. I did one of their fish and chip specials just because I wanted to support the railway a bit. And also because I fancied some fish and chips. But, it was all very well done. Everyone had masks on and everything, and it was fantastic. But what was I talking about there? Oh yes. Anyway, at the time, that you can go on Stepney's footplate now. So they've got it. They've got that sort of the Steamworks Museum. So you can actually go and have a stand on the footplate, which is nice. I like that. and obviously they've kept it with its face on and everything. So you know, it reminds kids of Thomas the Tank Engine. Train says, have you seen Laurie's Mechanical Marvels? It's really good. I have indeed. I'm not an avid watcher. I don't watch every single episode. I don't think I'm even subscribed. I should probably change that, and then maybe I'll actually end up watching a few more of the videos. But yeah, he really took off like it was about 6 or 7 months ago now, or maybe a bit further back than that. But yeah, I think I watched like one of his videos. It was like him running his Ruston that he owns. Does he own? Yeah, he owns a Ruston, doesn't he? And he was running it on like this tiny little preserved railway that's like almost in someone's back garden. And I watched that, and I thought, oh, this channel is really good. He's only got like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, and look at him now. He's got like, what has he got now? Like over 30,000, 40,000. It's just ridiculous. He seems to be growing crazy. So yeah, it's fantastic. If you haven't, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then yeah, that's a great recommendation there from Trains. Go and have a look at Laurie's Mechanical Marvels. He did one on the Talyllyn Railway recently, didn't he? And that was a good episode. I did see that one. Morris Modelling says, I'd love an as-preserved Steppers. I'm assuming that means Stepney. But I'm making do with modding the A1 into the A1X when I get around to finishing it. Oh, that's very brave. Fantastic. Sorry, you can hear my voice starting to go a little bit, so I'm just going to have a quick drink. There we go. Feeling a little bit better now. Oh, I've had a bit of a cough the last few weeks as well. Don't worry, it's not COVID or anything horrible like that. I had a test done and all that. Yeah, I had a horrible cough which like lingered around for 2 weeks, and I was really worried. And went and had got one of those mail tests, and they send you a COVID test in the mail and everything, and then you send it off and get the results back a couple of days later. But while I was waiting for it to come back, I was sort of kind of thinking, oh god, I haven't got it. But thankfully I didn't have it. I just had a cough. But where I got the cough from, I have absolutely no idea. Right, sorry, right. Let's blast through some comments really quickly because I want to get back to running trains before I end the stream, which isn't going to be anytime soon. Well, in the next half hour or so. Sorry. Right, Xander Day says, no, all I've said is I want to get a Midland 1F and I have it painted in BR blue. Right, is that in response to something else? Oh, right, I see. All he said that he wanted to get a Midland. I see. Right, this is in response to your comments getting removed. Presumably this one got through because I can see it. So he wants to get a Midland 1F and then have it painted in BR blue. Brilliant. Oh yes, you were talking about your freelance railway last time, weren't you? Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, sorry, I'm just checking all the different comments here. Yeah, sorry, I was going to try and run the Midland 1F, but I couldn't get a decoder in it in time. So I have it sitting here on the on the shelf, but I can't put it on the layout because it'll blow up. Or at least I'd rather not attempt. I'd rather not tempt fate. Again, Xander says, speaking of Thomas the Tank Engine, what do you think of the TV reboot? Sorry, not the TV, the 2D reboot. I think it's absolute rubbish. That was Xander Day, not my response. Although my response is kind of like, yeah, like, I don't know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I suppose they want to do something different, don't they? Because is it... who's got it now? Is it Mattel who have got the rights and everything? It all seems a bit crazy. But to be honest, look, I didn't watch the animated TV series either. I grew up with the original series. I think what sort of most people kind of consider. Certainly if you're not like 4, you consider like the original series to be the best, don't you? And those are the ones that I to be honest, I don't even really watch those all that much. Like, the odd episode pops up on YouTube every so often, and I go, oh yeah, I'll give this a quick watch because they're only like 5 minutes long. They're actually really good for getting modelling inspiration, actually, because obviously it all is models, albeit it's all low gauge stuff, isn't it? But yeah, they are good for sort of looking at building. Certainly for me anyway, in terms of when I'm filming everything as well, of finding interesting angles and how to do things. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of dropped off with the whole animated stuff anyway, and when it kind of went a bit crazy, and with them sort of jumping all over the place and being able to do stuff. So I can't really say that I'm all that clued up on what they're going to do with the 2D reboot, but it just seems a bit sort of like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure some people will love it. I'm sure kids will love it because that'll be all they know. Of course, the thing with kids' TV shows is that kids love it when they, are that age, and then they grow out of it, and they don't know what came before, and they don't really care what comes after. So, yeah. Benton Road Model Railway says, by the way, are you on the MRYCG Facebook, mate? Right. What is model? Is that Model Railway? Oh, it's the Model Railway YouTube community group, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not on there. I don't know why I'm not on there. I don't really use Facebook all that much. So that's probably a good reason as to why I'm on there. I think I've seen like the logos at the beginning of everyone's video. There's a few people who put up videos and they seem to have this logo on the front. So I don't know if that's like a requirement that if you're part of that group you have to use this logo. I don't know. I kind of sort of, part of me thinks like it would be great to sort of have a bit of extra reach for the channel, but it would be. Sorry, what was I talking about? I see comments coming in and then I get distracted. The YouTube Model Railway group, yes. The Facebook group. But part of me sort of also likes kind of being independent and being able to kind of do my own thing and just sort of, not forcing myself on anybody, I guess is the way, I'm sort of quite proud of the fact that everyone who has subscribed and everyone who chooses to watch, kind of comes here because they've found the videos themselves and they want to see more. I am on RM Web every so often. I kind of tend to browse there more than actually post, but I've kind of been keeping a little bit of a log on this railway as well, but I haven't done much on. I certainly haven't shown any of this yet, so it's a bit out of date. Right. Xanderday says gauge 1 actually. Is that the that's Thomas? Oh, so it's not O gauge. Oh, okay. So it's gauge 1. Do you know what? I've always assumed all this time that it was gauge 1, and but that certainly makes a lot more sense as to why Bachmann came out with all the gauge 1 models then. That's great. Do you know what? I think I assumed that all the they must have had a hell of a lot of space to do that. Because I've got a gauge, well, it's not a gauge 1, it's a G-scale railway, but it's the same size of track. And I mean, that takes up half the garden practically. So, it's, there's lots of people saying it's gauge 1, or Morris Modelling is saying gauge 1, not O gauge as well. Penn Junction says original has to be the best despite the glitches. Flying Scott says, to be fair, Thomas stopped being aimed at us when we physically turned 8 years old. Yes, that is true. I think we do have to remember that as well, that... we are not the target audience for this TV show. As much as we might think that we are, and it doesn't necessarily have to be accurate. And it is, at the end of the day, it is a kids' TV show. Yeah, right. I think that's for me. I've come to the end of the comments there now. Let's run another train because I'm sure people will be starting to get bored because I'm not running anything. So let's flip back to this shot here, and I'm going to try and get the Peckett to bring some stuff back in because I sent it off a while back, and hopefully it will work, but it doesn't seem to be now. Oh, there we go, it's starting to move. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it will. It's coming. This is going to be interesting because you might just be able to get a glimpse of it coming out of the fiddle yard there. But here it comes. Yeah, it's the Peckett, and it's got a couple of the 6-wheel coaches with it. Actually, we'll zoom in on this as it's come around this corner. Yeah, so I've only got a couple of them on tonight. And I know also these are LNER coaches and it's a Peckett and everything, but I mean, it's kind of almost like a freelance railway at this point, isn't it? So we'll bring it in here. Have I set the points correctly? Here it is coming in now. You can see that there's actually quite a bit of layout that you can't see on the camera. There's a bit of a blind spot. So, you haven't even seen everything. Yeah, this is nice, isn't it? I suppose what I probably should have done. These are the new 6-wheel coaches that I recently did the review of. So, that if you joined because, if you subscribed to the channel recently or you discovered the channel recently because of this video, I figured I should probably run these coaches. Right, let's do a bit of running around with these. So I haven't got any coupling system sorted out yet. I will do something eventually. I'm also, it's probably worth saying as well, I am going to put all point motors in this as well. I realise that I'm switching everything by hand at the moment, but eventually I will, everything will be on point motors. So I'm going to run this up to the other end now, and we'll just see what happens here. Yeah, it does. It really doesn't like that track there. I need to look at that baseboard joint basically because it's not happy with that. So, but it's fine for the moment. Oh, come on, don't stall on me. Right, we'll tell you what we might do. Let's run this. I'm bringing it back around the run round loop, and what I was going to do was I was going to have the Peckett take the carriages away, and then kind of finish off the stream there, I guess. But actually, what I think I will do is we'll run it into this siding. We'll have the Terrier take the coaches away. We'll see if that works. It may not. Oh, right. Wow, lots of comments coming in. Okay. Right. Morris Modelling said the Scarlowy stuff, however, ran on O-gauge track, which I think is where the misinformation comes from. Ah, right. Okay. That's with the Thomas thing. So I thought it was the other one. I thought it was something similar, but not quite. I was just a gauge down, I guess. So I thought the standard gauge stuff was all O-gauge, and then I thought that the narrow gauge Scarlowy stuff was all on OO gauge track, because the eyes. Am I right in thinking the eyes never moved on the narrow gauge engines? I think that's probably. I just sort of assumed it was like narrow gauge, but on. I can't remember what it is. It's like 009, but it's narrow gauge, but on OO gauge track, and it's something like 016.5 or something. It's not a scale I'm particularly familiar with, but I kind of always just assumed it was that. So basically, I was just a scale too small. Zan today just saying that the season 4 narrow gauge used O gauge stuff. Roof Railway says, why OO gauge, not N? You can fit a lot more in. For the simple reason that I have a lot more O gauge, double O gauge stuff than I do N gauge stuff, and that's kind of where my main interest lies. And also, I quite like shunting, and although I know that you can do shunting with N gauge stuff, well, Stephanie's just stalled a little bit there. Maybe this isn't such a good idea after all. I do find shunting to be slightly easier in double O gauge. Is that right? That's right. There we go. Just because everything's just that little bit bigger than it is with N gauge. Benton Road Model Railway says, "Night all, stay safe." Good night, Benton Road Model Railway. Thank you for joining us. Penn Junction says, "Run what you like. It's your layout." Yes. AR Production says, "I think it would be a fun if you added a few cameo scenes into your layout." Yes, I absolutely would like to do that at some point. Come on, Stephanie. There you go. Oh, there we go. Right. Let's slow you down a bit. There we go. Right, he's coupled up to those coaches now. I mean, I realise that the brake is now at the front and not at the back as it should be. Right. Okay. Well, it's nearly 17 minutes past 8. So, well, that's what it is for me anyway. So, I don't know. Should we go to 1/2 Yeah, let's do that. Then we've done like nearly an hour and a half. So, Saturday says, "I wonder if it would be possible to model slip coaches." I'm sure you could somehow, but I don't think there's a ready-to-run version of that. But yeah, slip coaches, that would be interesting to attempt. I can't say I would want to attempt it. Was it GWR who made me use the slip coaches? I'm not entirely sure. Right. Sammy B Film says, "Love these coaches." Yes, so do I. Do you know, I really should have brought one of the magnets in that I could have switched the lights on. Tell you what, I'll go get the magnet. Right, I've got to run to the other room, so entertain yourselves for a few seconds. Here you go. You can start the timers if you want, starting now. And we're back. There we go. Right, come back with one of the magnets. Let's get the lights on. This is, of course, where they fail. I do hope I remember to put the batteries back in. There we go. The lights are on now. I did indeed remember to put the batteries back in, although you can't actually see it on the stream at all. But yeah, because I was faffing about with the batteries in these for when I did the video where I showed you how to change the batteries, and I forgot to put the batteries back in one of the coaches, I think, when I did that. Right. Hornby Book Edition 67 2021 Model Railways and Accessories. Richard Bezina says that. What's that in relation to? I may have missed a comment somewhere because that doesn't make any sense. So AR Production says, no, the narrow gauge locos did have moving lights. Oh, okay, fantastic. Right, I'm just wrong then. Which, to be honest, is a much more likely scenario anyway. Sammy B Film says 12:30. Oh, is that the time where you are? Right. AR Production says to do slip coaches in OO gauge would be difficult. I imagine the easiest way would be to use electromagnets. Yeah, I guess so. Or some sort of auto uncoupling system or something in the truck. I don't know, yeah. It's not really something I'm particularly... But then you'd want it to stop properly as well, wouldn't you? So would it have to have like a motor in it so that you could kind of run it at a... Oh, I don't know. It's... Yeah. I'm sure smarter people than me can do that. Oh, Xandaday says shut the lights off so we can see the coaches. That would be a very good idea. Unfortunately, no. Okay, right. So this room doesn't actually have a light in the ceiling at the moment currently. It's just a bare wire. Well, not a bare wire. It's got a socket, but there's no light in it because I'm using my big filming lights. But they're on the other side of the layout, and I can't get to them. So that would have been a smart thing to do, of course. I'm hoping that it's just because they're... Oh, right, this is probably going to go horribly wrong. But we're going to run this anyway and see what happens. Right, everyone cross your fingers. I really hope this works. You still can't really see the lights, can you? Well, you can just about see them as they go around the corner there under the bridge, but yeah, there's a lot of tidying up work needs to be done on these scenic modules. As I say that, one of the coaches has just derailed, so that's great. Right, let's get that. We'll get that coach up. There we go. You might be able to hear all the chaos happening in the background here. Okie doke. So. We'll run something to finish off with. I won't just leave it hanging. I'll tell you what, let's bring the school's glass back in because that's the only other engine I've got to hand at the moment. Well, I suppose I've got the Sentinel, but it's not really realistic to run that. Yeah, well, let's see if this will work. I'll get this back on track and maybe we'll finish off with this. Sorry, I'm just focusing while I get all the wheels on the track. Not good at multitasking. Can't talk and put locos on track at the same time. So yeah, I know it's been a bit of a different live stream today. Again, this has been for hitting 1,000 subscribers. Do check out. I was hoping to have some teasers for stuff that is coming soon, but there is a special video coming on Sunday, so I hope you're all looking forward to that. There will be a trailer for that coming out at some point as well. I'm hoping that I'll be able to use a new feature that YouTube has that allows you to kind of show trailers before a video goes public. So hopefully that'll work. But it's a very fun video. It's a fun video. It's also absolutely insane and crazy, and it's one of those things where you just think, why? In lots of different ways. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. But yeah, I'm very excited for you guys to all see that. So I've just realised that in this shot you can see a pair of my glasses up on the windowsill there. So, that's great, isn't it? Right, let me just check a couple of comments briefly. LSBC says, in Series 5 they made narrow gauge stuff the same size as the regular engines because the old ones were too fiddly and they barely worked. Oh, right, okay. That makes sense then, I guess. Yeah, okay. So presumably then they had to have really big. Was there not any interchange stuff at that point there where you saw the standard gauge engines with the narrow gauge stuff? Yeah. Simon DL says, I always wondered what off-scene Pickwick Yard looked like. Now I know. Yes, it would be nice if this did join up to Pickwick Yard. Do you know what? If things hadn't been absolutely crazy tonight, I was hoping, and I may still do this in the future, I was actually hoping to have a little video play out before this where a train started in Pickwick Yard and then left to the Fiddle Yard, and then you'd see it running in live on the stream. That was my my plan, but yeah. Penn Junction says, it's been a great live stream. Thanks again. Fantastic. Does that mean you're off, Penn Junction? Thank you for tuning in, if that is you saying goodbye. Right. Brilliant. Let's... I mean, we're still going strong here. We've got 26 viewers in, and yeah. So, oh, sorry. I just realised I clicked a load of buttons and that made the microphone a bit iffy. Okay. So, let's run... the schools class in again, shall we? And yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll come up with some way to end the stream in a fun way. So I'm just checking to see if I actually have got it on the track properly. Right, fingers crossed again, because I felt we got very lucky the first time with this. I won't run it with the. Do you want it with the sound on? No, we'll do it with the sound off for the moment. Well, just so I can keep talking, and then I can reply to any comments. Oh, Penn Junction says, no, I'm staying till the end, don't worry. Oh, okay, great. Oh, good to have you here for the end, then. We're not going to go for too much longer, guys. Another 5 minutes at most. So here we go. The schools class is just coming around the corner now. Do you know, I am still amazed that everything is working. Here we go, coming into the station now. There are sort of little clicks happening every so often. There we go. We'll just run that into there now. Okie doke. Right. LSBC says they used the old ones to use with most of the engines, and then they made like a G-scale Thomas related. Okay, right, brilliant. So, yeah. Morris Modelling. In theory, if you were to make a wide junction piece, you could link up Pickwick Yard as an additional extension. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are ways of doing it. Pickwick Yard is very, what's the nice way of putting it? Dodgy. Yeah, it is, well, because it was built on a shelf, it's not really massively compatible. I mean, basically, all these baseboards that I've built, they're all exactly the same height. They've all got exactly the same ends. They're all exactly the same width. Track goes in and out of the same place. I'm sure there would be a way of getting Pickwick Yard to join up to this layout in some way, but it is very much a long-term project. But I agree, it would be nice to do it somehow, some way. Trains says, yes, sound on. All right, we'll do that for the very final bit then. We'll when we send the train off, we'll do that. AR Production says, I was just wondering what fences do you use on the scenic parts of the layout? Ah, right, so I presume you're looking at these fences then. I mean, basically, it's matchsticks and wire. Like, it's cheap, but it's not easy. I mean, I think the bits that you can see there, they probably took me the best part of a week to do that because they are long sections. That's why it's only on this front section, and I haven't gotten around to doing it on the back bit yet. So yeah, I am basically cutting down the matchsticks and getting everything, drilling the holes through them was the worst bit. It was pretty bad, but I actually am looking at an alternate way of doing this, which is hopefully going to be slightly easier. And once I've figured out how I'm going to do that, or once I've done it, tested the theory, I guess, then I will do a tutorial on it of some sort. But it is basic. It is very sort of basic kind of construction. Drill 4 holes through a tiny matchstick, then thread all the wires through and super glue everything in place. Like I said, it did take a long time. to do. Right, let's go back to here. I think what we'll do, because the schools class doesn't, I said I would run that again with the sound on, but because it doesn't have a front coupling on, I'm going to take these coaches away using the Peckett, which might be an interesting experience. I mean, the Peckett should be absolutely capable of hauling these. I don't think it ever would have managed this in real life, though. But then, you know, one of the beauties of modern railways is that we can bend the rules quite a lot, in my case. So, I want that there, and I want that there. Well, considering at the beginning of this live stream I didn't know how to use a double slip at all, I've sort of gotten used to doing it now. But I do love how this Peckett can crawl. It's difficult to believe, but it's an even better performer on DCC than it was on DC. I say that as it stalls on the double slip. Fantastic. Although, admittedly, I didn't have to restart it again, and I think that is just because everything is a little bit dirty and probably needs, you know, rewiring in some way. So yeah, this has been a very fun testing session. I can't think of a better way to have tested everything than to share it with you guys. I did rather anticipate that we were going to spend the entire time troubleshooting, and I was going to have to switch over to DC at one point, but actually this has worked quite well, and I'm quite pleased with the way it's gone. So yeah, it's just hit past now, so we'll run this train out, and then we'll run the schools class into the shed, and we'll consider that the end of the stream, I think. So just coupling up the Peckett now. There we go. I've just managed to recouple the schools class. Oh no, I didn't actually. I was worried for nothing. A load of more comments are just coming. I think I'm getting the comments like sort of, you know, like 10 or so at a time. So, gotta love a dodgy layout, says Morris Modelling. The layout of my club has some dodginess to it, but it's part of the fun. Yes, indeed it is. I mean, Pickwick Yard is great for testing locos in that regard, because if a loco isn't up to scratch, it's sort of a bit like, you know, it sort of puts it through its paces, so to speak. You know, because it's got dodgy points on it, they're second-hand. They've got massive, you know, plastic frogs on them. The grooves are massive, so the locos, you know, tilt to one side. And, you know, if there's a fault with the loco, or, you know, if a loco can cope with that kind of layout, then it should be pretty good anywhere. So let's see if the Peckett will take these 3 coaches. And it looks like it's doing it. There we go. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? There he goes. I keep hearing clicks as the coaches go over a join in the track, and it's making me worried every time I hear it. Right, there goes the Peckett and those Southern coaches. Lovely little green train there. It's been very green today, hasn't it? Oh, it's just it has stalled on this bit here, but it's all fine now. Yeah, as I say, this layout is, you know, it still needs a lot of work, and it's stalled again just now, actually. There we go. Right. Oh, yeah. I think the fiddle yard just has dirty track, to be honest. So I probably should have cleaned it before I came on here. But yeah. Right. Let me go back to this shot, and we'll run the schools class back through the shot, and we'll run it into the siding. Simon DL says, though I'm mainly a GWR tank engine fan, I do have a soft spot for the schools class. 6'8" driving wheels and 3 cylinders. Yeah, they are. I mean, they are lovely, aren't they? I mean, I feel like there's a fair few of them in preservation as well, which is why I can get away with having one here. So we shall say that this one also got preserved at the same time. Right, let me switch the sound on. Joseph the Midland 4F says, needs to make the end into a turntable. Yeah, that would be cool as well. Yeah, that's certainly an interesting thought. Although I don't know how many heritage railways actually have turntables that are used on a regular basis, so I don't know how realistic that would be. But then, you know, when have I ever been one to get bogged down with realism? Morris Modelling has said something in the chat which I think is well, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. So I'm gonna give you a thumbs up on that one and just go, yep, you do you. I don't understand that one at all. Either that or he's having troubles with his keyboard. Simon DL says Peckett looks great with 3 coaches, just like I seen on Preserved Railway. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it would be. I would like to see a Peckett on a Preserved Railway, hauling something like that. Right, let me. There we go. Put the sound on for you. Okay, so we're going to finish up now. I'm just going to run this back into the sheds. It is coming. I know it just looks like a dot on the live stream, but it is slowly moving towards you. We'll speed it up a bit. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been hectic but lovely. I've really enjoyed having you here for this little testing session. Again, thank you so much to everybody who... Oh, there's a bit of a jump there. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. Thank you so much to everybody who watches my videos, and yeah. I do hope you'll stick around because we've got some very exciting stuff coming. Oh, I just sped it up there when I didn't mean to. Right. So, the school's class is now heading into the shed, which you can't see. I'll give it one final whistle. There you go. Right, I'll switch the sound off on that. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this live stream. As I said, do remember to check up on Sunday for a very exciting video that's coming on Sunday. That'll be out Sunday morning. As I said, it's a very special one. It's a bit crazy and a bit mad. I still need to finish editing it, really, but yeah, it's good fun. Yeah, there's that coming on Sunday. Hopefully, the week after that, there will be a trailer coming out as well for the special new series that I have been working on as well. So that will be coming soon as well. So the series, I'm hoping, will be the first episode of that will be premiering at around the middle of February, I guess, is when I'm hoping that'll be out. And yeah, there's a lot of footage. We've shot a lot of footage for it. I think I worked out the other day, because we had multiple cameras doing it, and all these different things that, well, all the different, I can't really talk about it without spoiling it, really, but I think I worked out that we'd shot something like over 24 hours of footage that all needs to be edited. So yeah, it's gonna be a good series. I'm excited to see where it goes and how it's received by you guys. I really hope it's a success, because I've made a load of episodes for it. And so if you guys don't like it, I'm going to be stuck with all these episodes, which I'm not going to have anything to do with, but I'm sure you guys will like it. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I'm sure I'll be back for another live stream soon, because I mean, at this rate, we'll be hitting 2,000 subscribers fairly soon, because we're already at 1,400. So yeah, thank you so much to everybody who's subscribed. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say, really. I'm so, I guess, astonished that you guys are interested in me playing trains, basically, and that you guys want to stick around. So thank you so much, everybody, for sticking around. And I'll see you in a video on Sunday. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and good night.